Guys, this Jack Perry situation is awful. The first thing I want to say is that Tony Khan has failed this happy accident that Jack Perry was. Listen, I get it. All right, Jack Perry, I don't even think it was his fault. At the end of the day, CM Punk was already bitter, and CM Punk was already 2 feet out the door when all this happened. Why Tony Khan never brought him back, I will never understand. Jack Perry hasn't been on TV since the summer, and yet he is talked about every single week. And say what you want about Jack Perry, love him, hate him, he was the best of controversy. Like, CM Punk left AEW, Jack Perry could have stepped up to the plate. He could have been that controversial guy. The fact that the whole Jack Perry CM Punk situation happened was, at the end of the day, for the better. CM Punk was not happy in AEW. CM Punk went back to WWE. That's fine. Now you gotta capitalize on Jack Perry, because Jack Perry is being talked about, and Tony Khan failed to do so. This was a blessing in disguise. This was a happy accident. Jack Perry could have been the biggest, hottest heel in all of wrestling. I honestly do feel that Jack Perry was a star in the making. I mean, everything was right there. I have him challenge Orange Cassidy for the international title, but instead Jack Perry has now appeared in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he tore up his contract. He took his AEW contract, he ripped it up. I do think this is like a storyline. I mean, he wasn't fired. Jack Perry is still technically under Elite Wrestling employment. But him ripping up the contract really solidifies for me that he's not coming back anytime soon, or Tony Khan has really just told him, hey, listen, I'm not going to fire you, but I'm just going to let your contract expire. Like, I think that's pretty much the mindset of what's going on, which is so stupid because none of this was Jack Perry's fault. And this could also just be like a weird work. Like, Jack Perry could come back to AEW, but like in a year, after he's done with his New Japan stuff. Why do that though? Why? Like, nothing interesting is going on AEW TV, and nothing interesting has been going on for the past couple months. You could bring back Jack Perry, have him be there every week, and that's something that people are going to want to watch. There is a reason why guys like CM Punk are so popular and are so must-see. It's because of the controversy. As fans, we want controversy. Now, unfortunately, AEW has been on the receiving end the past few months, and there's been so much controversy, and there was like the Jericho stuff and the Santana Ortiz stuff, and it was like every week there was a negative AEW story, which I do believe is the media pushing an agenda, but we don't have to go there, whatever. Raw on Monday was not the best. Like, I wasn't interested in 75% of that show, and yet I'm more interested in the WWE than I am in AEW. I'm more interested in Raw than Dynamite, even though Raw is not interesting 75% of the show for me. Dude, Jack Perry could have come back and he could have been the legend killer. He could have joined Christian Cage again. Man, there is so much potential, and now he's in New Japan. Now, I don't watch New Japan. Who knows what's going to happen there? And you know what? It's 6:17 p.m. Jack Perry could show up tonight, and this whole video could mean absolutely nothing. But what I'm seeing right now and what I feel in my heart of hearts is that Jack Perry is not coming to AEW for a long time. He is officially the first pillar to be out. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Jack Perry is out before Sammy Guevara, MJF, who is obviously going to WWE, and Darby. I don't think Darby Allin's leaving either, but who would have thought that Jack Perry would be the first pillar out of AEW? And I think that's the problem too. I think Tony Khan has forgotten that Jack Perry is a pillar, and Jack Perry, one of the 4 pillars, leaving AEW, that really is just a sign that this is not the same company as they were 4 or 5 years ago. It's so incredibly unfortunate because this had potential. Like, I don't know what's going on, bro. Tony Khan is not seeing the potential in this stuff. And I get it. Tony Khan doesn't want to spark more controversy than there is, but you gotta have something hot on TV. Nothing is going on Dynamite. And so Tony Khan kind of just wants to do his thing, do his stories, which there aren't really many of. And, at the end of the day, the tickets for tonight are going to be below 3,000. You gotta do something. You gotta do something. Listen, I have a dying channel, but if an opportunity presented itself for me to take advantage of, for me to get more views on that channel, I would do it in a heartbeat. MJF is gone. Nothing's going on TV. You could bring back Jack Perry right now, but you didn't. But Tony Khan didn't. I know I've said this in a previous video. He is booking the shows like a promoter and not like a fan. And Tony Khan is a great fan. but he is not a good promoter. Dynamite is on tonight. Let's see what happens. Last week's show was pretty dreadful. I mean, there was some good stuff, the Samoa Joe stuff with Adam Page and Swerve and Hook. But let's just see about tonight. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. Join the Discord, all that stuff. Good night.